8.6 Plenty Valley FM on Monday Drive with Dee and Kat, and it's time to say hello to Josh Ward. Are you there, Josh? Hello, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Well, I'm here now. I'm here now. Out of nowhere. The Colonel's here.
Stop,
I'm surprised you didn't go.
Colonel, stop playing Candy Crush, Colonel.
I will. I'll stop keeping an eye on the socials, which is doing doing some great stuff.
Yes, the podcast
NFNL
is
socials.
good.
Now,
Yes.
I had to do a market on the weekend, so I couldn't get to the start of the Heidelberg Montmorency match, but I was up at the market and I had it blazing your beautiful tones calling the match down at Montmorency Park.
Yes. Well, we'll touch on that very, very shortly, but not the greatest day for Montmorency, but still, it was beautiful conditions. A decent first half of footy, I must admit.
Yeah, the first half was good.
First half was great. For Montmorency, to show the fight that they did. And, you know, there was some promising patches from the Magpies throughout that contest. But, I mean, you can't go past Heidelberg. I'm amazed they just continue to get better and better and better. They're a remarkable side. They're well led by Vindatoli, and they continue to amaze all.
It was probably one of the smallest margins that they've won by, but kicking 15 goals 20 there's a lot of scoring shots there. So and I mean, with no wind.
Yeah, and I mean, Montmorency's defence did force them into some tough shots. There were some gettable chances they missed. So I think it was, you know, I mean, the margin seemed reasonable. It could, I mean, there could be the argument in flight at Heidelberg. There could be the argument in flight at Montmorency. But I think it was fairly even. Just given Heidelberg, they got on top more and more throughout the contest. And
I noticed as that happened too, Montmorency's confidence went down in the last quarter. They were sort of Monty was dropping chest marks and stuff. And I think that's not the Monty I know.
They were dropping what?
Yeah,
chest marks.
Well,
what does that mean?
Yeah.
And easy marks, and
Okay.
you know they were being clumsy. They were just being clumsy, and they didn't have to be.
I mean, they still kicked some pretty good goals. William Bella kicked it over the top of his head from the top of the goal square. That was a miracle. That was a magnificent goal. And Jackson Bound as well, tucked up to the boundary, kicked a brilliant snap goal as well. So, I mean, they showed some brilliance at Montmorency, and I think they should play finals this year, in my opinion. But it's an open ball game. They're sitting outside I think they are sitting outside the top five.
They've lost three. They lost three. So anyway, let's have a look at what's happening. Let's go to Division 3 and have a look what happened on the weekend.
Yes. Well, some big results in Heidelberg Golf Club Division 3. I'll get them up shortly. But Fitzroy Stars back onto the park, back on the winners list. 59-point win over Epping. Lorimer, they defeated King Lake by 33 points. That game, 37 goals were kicked out of King Lake Memorial Oval, so very high scoring.
And let me know the leading goal kicker.
Patrick Fitzgerald. I don't know if you've heard if you've heard of him. Yeah. Do you know how many he kicked?
Oh, I'm tipping double figures.
It was 10.
It was 10. There you go.
Yep. He kicked 10 of Lorimer's. He kicked 10 of Lorimer's 21 goals. He's just simply phenomenal. Is Patrick Fitzgerald?
I actually saw him at the voting polls the week before, and he goes, "Oh, I'm not playing today." I went, "Oh, okay."
Oh, come on, he shouldn't be saying stuff like that. But well, he didn't play last week. But
that was the week before. That was the week before. Yeah.
So he played this week and had a great return. Ivanhoe 93-point win over Old Eltham Collegiate. Heidelberg West also won by 93 points.
Wow.
Yes, and Reservoir, they've won. The Reservoir have won 3 in a what?
Sorry, my phone's gone off.
I'll just thought that. I think you got to love
Reservoir, yeah.
Reservoir, the 23-point winners. They've won 3 in a row of the Mustangs. That's the biggest talking point. Yeah.
Normally they don't win 3 in a year.
Nah, they don't. Normally they don't. I mean, they've got some really good players on their list. Darren Edwards, the former AFL player, Billy Varden, Josh Grabowski, all those players. good experience at the NFNL. So,
Go Reservoir.
I mean, it's still credit to Rowan Davies and what he's done with this Reservoir lineup. I think it's a credit to them for. They're in the top 5 now as well. They're in the top 5 with 3 wins and 2 losses. So they've got an interesting
Uncharted
game this
waters.
weekend.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah, for the last couple of years, definitely. They haven't been in the top 5 since they won the flag in 2015.
Right.
So,
Okay.
it will be interesting to see how they fare for the rest of the season. MC Labour Division 2, not too many close results here. Diamond Creek, 45-point win over St Mary's. McLeod, they kicked 12 goals, 17. They still defeated Penn Hill by 22 points.
12-17, that's some scoring shots. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, a fair few. Lower Plenty defeated Old Paradians by 64 points. Whittlesea defeated Thomastown by 29 points at Main Street Recreation Reserve. And Northcote Park defeated Watsonia by 49 points. I think majority of these results, if not all of these results, were expected.
Yeah.
You could say they were, but I mean, Penn Hill, I think that's a promising performance against McLeod. They're certainly no easy beats out at Winton Park.
Yeah, no, McLeod have been doing good things this year, so yeah.
Yeah, they're 4-1 now. McLeod, they've won 4 in a row.
It'll be interesting when McLeod come up against Diamond Creek and your Whittlesea sort of thing.
Yeah, well, Whittlesea they faced in a fortnight.
Right.
Diamond Creek they faced in round 1 and lost.
Oh, did they?
They'll face
there
them.
you go.
They'll face them in round 10, which is in just over a month's time. So it'll be.
At the Winton Oval, whatever it's called.
Well, they'll play Whittlesea first up at the Winton Park, and then they'll play Diamond Creek at Coventry Oval. So,
well, great matches. Moving on.
Well, some great matches and some big matches this weekend, which we'll touch on shortly.
Yep.
Division 1, outside of the Heidelberg-Montmorency result, we'll touch on the biggest result for last, but Eltham 33-point win over West Preston Lakeside. Greensboro defeated North Heidelberg by 16 points at War Memorial Park.
Yep.
Bundoora, they got their first win of the season, defeated South Morang by 15 points. The biggest result of them all. Now, this was a very, very good contest out of Ben Freeley Oval. Hurstbridge against Banyule.
Oh.
It was decided by 1 point in Hurstbridge's favour. And match winner came from Harry O'Brien with just over 60 seconds left in the game. So
how exciting is that? Yeah.
It's a very good contest. Obviously, that wasn't the match of the day. Montmorency and Heidelberg was. But, we were keeping an eye on those scores throughout the day, and it was a seesawing contest. I saw it was late, and I thought Banyule might be home, but credit to Hurstbridge for overcoming.
Are we talking second versus third there?
I think it almost was. I think it was second versus third or third versus fourth. Yeah. Hurstbridge are now in second. They're now in
there you go. Go Hurstbridge. The Bridges.
And I think they've got a really good list at their disposal, and they could very well be undefeated. They had the draw against North Heidelberg. They lost by 3 points to Greensboro. Outside of that, they could very well be 5-0. It wouldn't. But I mean, as fate has it, they're 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. But they're starting to really, really find some form, and
if
that makes them a dangerous.
If you ever want to go to a good oval, Hurstbridge is one of the most finest ovals I've been to. That's just beautiful. Surrounds you're surrounded by the river.
Yeah,
the Diamond
nice.
Creek River. It's just great.
Yeah, it's a fair trek for me, but it is a nice oval. It's a lovely oval.
Where are you coming from?
I'm Box Hill. So
holy heck!
It's a fair trek.
Just jump on the train and get off, and on you may even catch a steam train heading up to Hurstbridge sometimes.
Just a casual hour and a half trip up to Hurstbridge, I'll say. Let's touch on this weekend. Now, we'll start off at the bottom, Heidelberg Golf Club Division 3. Old Eltham Collegians Mernda. Lorimer Ivanhoe's a very interesting game now out of Lorimer Reserve. Epping against Heidelberg West at Epping Recreational Reserve. Kilmore against the Fitz. I'll save my thoughts for that for a bit later. Kilmore against Fitzroy Stars at JJ Clancy Reserve.
Yep.
Kinglake versus Reservoir just got very interesting out of Kinglake Memorial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I reckon Lima and Ivanhoe is probably the most interesting game out of the three because it's a great test for Ivanhoe. I mean, they obviously didn't pass the Mernda test the week prior. Now they get a chance at one of the better sides in the division in Lima.
Just interesting. My daughter is actually going out with the ruckman from Ivanhoe. I met him for the first time the other week. He's a nice bloke.
Yeah.
And it helps because he likes footy.
I'll deflect myself away from that question, from that. But Ivanhoe, they haven't met Lorimer, actually. They would never have met the Power in a competitive match because...
They're new teams, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ivanhoe obviously joined the NFNL last year, and Lorimer, they were playing Division 2 footy last year. So, first ever meeting between the two, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that game pans out at Lorimer Reserve. I'm excited about what Division 2 holds this weekend.
They just have to look out for Patrick Fitzgerald because that could change the match.
Well, get three defenders on him. It might not be enough to stop him, but yep. MC Labour Division 2. There's some good games this weekend. Northcote Park against St Mary's. That's a ripping contest, I reckon, out of Bill Laurie Oval. Penn Hill up against Old Paradians. I think it's a pretty decent contest out at AE Cracknell Reserve. Thomastown against Watsonia. Either one of these sides are going to get their first points of the season. Lower Plenty against McLeod. Darcy Barden. That'll be a great contest. And Darcy Barden as well, who became a big name out of Montmorency Park South Oval. He returns to face Lower Plenty for the first time since making the move.
It was Lower Plenty. It was McLeod.
Yes, but the match of the day in MC Labour Division 2, top of the table, undefeated sides, Whittlesea against Diamond Creek, out at the Whittlesea Showgrounds.
Wow,
that is going to be a really good contest. They met in the prelim final. Diamond Creek won by a big margin that game. They had some close games throughout the regular season last year, and I reckon this game is going to be a really good contest. And whoever wins is going to be the benchmark of Division 2. There's no question about it. Whoever wins is going to be the side that teams are going to be hunting for the rest of the season. I think
absolutely, yeah.
Diamond Creek certainly have a case. Whittlesea is starting to find some form in the last couple of weeks.
I'm thinking the Creekers. The Creekers have been up there at the top for the last 3 years, and they almost made it last year. But,
they did, and the year before, but obviously they didn't. They weren't able to succeed and win the premiership.
That'll be a great
match.
That'll be a great match.
That'll be a great match, and that is why it's the NFNL match of the day. 88.6 Plenty Valley FM from 2 p.m. And, of course, streaming live on Sportscast Australia from 2 p.m. on Saturday. Keep an eye out on socials for...
and your little thing on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
Yes, the podcast. That was a lot of fun. I'll have some company this week for the podcast, so...
9 o'clock, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. Tune in. It's a great show.
Yes. Melbourne Greyhounds Division 1. There's some decent contests in here. Heidelberg against Greensborough. That's a big test for the borough. North Heidelberg against West Preston Lakeside at Shelley Street. South Morang against Hurstbridge. Banyule against Eltham. They've had some good contests over the years. Of course, the Division 2 grand finalists 2 years ago, in 2022, Banyule and Eltham. And then you've got Bundoora Montmorency. I think that game will be a good one. The Magpies and the Bulls. I reckon Bundoora have put together a good season.
They've been doing some good things. I'll be in the scoreboard. Yeah. I'll be in the scoreboard there now.
I'm sure you'll enjoy being out at Geelong Reserve. I reckon that'll be fun. Yeah, it's a unique oval. And a lovely oval at that.
I just say weird.
I won't say that. I do enjoy going out there whenever we get the opportunity. But Heidelberg Greensborough, I reckon, could be interesting. Greensborough did defeat Heidelberg the last time these two met, and that was at Warringal Park. So, I mean, you never know. But a big weekend ahead. As always, keep an eye out on the NFNL socials and stay tuned to the NFNL match of the day, live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM from 2 p.m. Should be a good contest. We'll see you in the Creekers.
Right.
I'll say I'll be listening, but I'll be doing the scoreboard. But I'll...
Did you have a lovely Mother's Day with your mum?
I did. Did you enjoy your Mother's Day as well, Kat?
Yes, I did. I did actually. I would spend it with my kids. Went to the Kinglake National Park.
And watched there's a waterfall up there apparently.
No,
with no water.
there was no water. that was the disappointment. But it was a nice day. Nice track all the way up there.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It was a beautiful day. And
tell you what, my 2-year-old grandson didn't do a bad job. He walked all the way from the bottom all the way up. No hesitation.
That's not bad.
He walked from Mill Park to Kinglake. Can you believe that?
Mill Park to Kinglake. That's a fair effort if you did that.
Yeah, you didn't know that about me. I'm very fit.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm one of the. I had a feeling you'd be pretty fit as well. I'm not fittest. I'm not gonna lie, but
no, I don't think I'm that fit.
All right, we better wind it up there. We'll catch you. Yeah. You'll be on the air at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. You'll be on the air at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and you'll be with us this time next Monday.
Yes, looking forward to it. Always a pleasure, Dee and Kat. See you next Monday.
All right, have a nice week. See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Catch Drive with Dee and Kat on Mondays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on your local station, 88.6 Plenty Valley FM.